Complicated and potentially controversial opinion. I love therapists as people, and I think many of them do excellent work with their clients, but I think that the entire paradigm of therapy is incredibly flawed, and I'll give you examples. I had someone come into my office yesterday who's dealing with severe depression and anxiety, and she has been going through 2 years of Jungian analysis. And I said, where have you got in that point of time? She's like, well, I have this great perspective on who I am and my past life trauma and many of my cultural archetypes and how my family influenced my self-belief structure. And I'm like, that's great. How's your anxiety and depression? And she's like, oh, it's just as bad as before. And to be fully upfront, my bias is towards action and resolution. And I think that with a few notable exceptions, most medical interventions are meant to be used, and I consider therapy a medical intervention. Therapy should be a bridge across the river. It gets you from point A to point B, and you learn something along the journey about yourself that you didn't know before. And that's very wonderful and valuable, and it gives you a lot of wisdom, which you can then use to help other people in your community. But you don't live on the bridge. You live on one side of the river or the other side of the river. And I see a lot of people who come into my office, and I hear a lot of stories from other providers and just people in the world as well. I mean, watch anything on this app about anxiety and depression, and you'll see that many people form these parasocial relationships with their therapists where they basically just have a friend who's paid to listen to them. And nothing wrong with that. If you don't want to go out in the world and make friends, or you can't, or you have infinite financial resources to spend on somebody who listens to you for 55 minutes twice a week, that's fine. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying a lot of people don't want that when they go into any kind of medical intervention. And if they're not getting the tools that they need or actually making the real change to make a difference in their life, is it worth it? Now, I'm a provider who focuses a lot on the gut side of the gut-brain axis, and this is well supported by evidence that many of our thoughts, feelings, and actions are not actually logical. We like to think they are. They're really limbic, they're emotional, and many of those emotions are generated by our gut flora. In the same way, many of the people that we choose to be our friends, our lovers, our business partners, we choose them not because of the decisions they make, or the way that they speak, or the words that they use. We choose them because of how they make us feel. In fact, there is some very interesting research showing that we choose our partners in life based on their flora's compatibility with our own. You don't choose people who have the same microbiome profile as you. You choose one that's complementary. Well, I hope you do anyway. The lesson here is cultivate your body like a garden. And when you grow the kinds of flora that create the thoughts and feelings and actions in your world that lead you to have a happy and better life, you then get to share that with other people. An incredible amount of evidence exists which links mental and emotional disorders to dysregulated inflammatory states. People who have major depressive disorder have lots of inflammation throughout their body. People who have anxiety often have a dysautonomia. There's a huge link between mental emotional stress and IBS, mental emotional stress and POTS, PTSD, and IBS.